Bros and heroes. Gonna tell you about bros and heroes. Gonna tell you about
comic books, costumes, facts,
Boots.
and other stuff.
In this week's issue, JLA Part 2, and we're not dead. Green Lantern sucks.
Welcome into Bros, Foes, and Heroes. I'm Zach, joined as always by my sidekick, Mr. Mike.
Hello.
How are you doing today, Mike?
Okay, how are you?
Hello.
So the last episode,
Yes,
we had to get the hell out of here.
we did.
Yeah. Because we thought we were all
really
going to die.
Yeah. We didn't die, so
We didn't die. Yay. You know, I did almost get blown off the road, though, on the way
Did
home.
you really?
Yeah.
It got pretty bad for me, too.
The wind, I felt my truck like almost pick up. You know how that feeling is when your car is like, and so I got off the highway real quick.
There was a place I was driving that for a second, like the sirens started going off around me, and I thought, is that just telling me that it's a warning, or there's actual? I couldn't remember, so I pulled off and I went inside for a bit just because it was dark. I didn't feel like not seeing what was coming ahead of me. Well,
yeah, that was the thing. If it's during the day, that's different. But at night, that's scary.
Yeah.
And the other thing, I texted my wife while I was driving through the tornado, and I said that the rain was coming down sideways too, which is always a good intention or an indication that there's some high winds.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, it was a little rough.
It was.
If you don't know what we're talking about, we're in Central Texas, and we had a tornado warning that turned into a tornado watch, or vice versa. I can't ever keep which one straight. But anyway, some stuff around us got hit. We didn't really take any big hits.
It was still some gnarly weather, but not as
No, it could have been terrible.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But we made it, so
so
here we are. And now we're
here.
back to finish where we left off. And what we were covering on the last episode
Was the King James Bible.
was the Tower of Babel.
Oh, that's what I meant.
Storyline from JLA, Mark Waid's run back in 2000.
Okay.
And just to kind of catch you up where we were before.
We got this one episode about the Bible. We're going to cover the Bible in this one episode. We'll get through it quick. It'll be fine.
Well, here's the thing, though. There's bound to be like comic versions of.
Oh, sure.
So
everybody gets stuck in the bagats. That's the problem.
Is that where it is?
They get stuck in the bagats.
It's just all the dialogue that's a little too heavy.
Well, no, the bagats are like Jacob begat Jeff. Jeff
you're talking about with the family tree stuff.
Yeah, it's like page after page of bagats.
Well, I mean, that can just be like, you can have that drawn out and just like a family
I'm
tree.
not drawing
actually.
that out.
So,
No, that seems like more work.
all right. Well, let's recap to where we were with JLA.
It's always the bagats that get you.
Our big bad guy of this whole thing, who is looking to kind of stop the Justice League in this, is Ra's al Ghul.
Yep.
And mainly a Batman villain, but in this also a big bad that I would say is on the level of other big bads in DC. So it makes him a comparable Justice League villain. And
so we're talking Lex Luthor. Who else?
Darkseid.
Oh, okay. Is that how you say it? I thought it was Darkseid.
Darkseid.
Is it?
Yeah.
Isn't it spelled like seed? Like German version?
No. I mean, there's no...
Like Luftwaffe.
No. There's no E on the end, but it's still Darkseid.
Oh, okay. All right, Darkseid.
It's SIED, right? Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It sounds weird, or it looks weird. Okay. All right. I'll go for it. Sure.
Okay.
Whatever. Go Darkseid.
But he's on that level.
Okay.
But so what has happened is the League of Assassins is slowly picking off members of the Justice League. They attack Martian Manhunter. He gets hit with all these nanites that kind of causes this magnesium over his, film over his skin that once hit with oxygen kind of combusts because Martian Manhunter's biggest weakness is fire.
Yeah.
Actually, here, since DC is better at explaining exactly what happens than I am.
Fire and a good name.
They
Those are his
have,
weaknesses.
cover his body in magnesium and set on fire is basically what they've done to him.
Right. Okay.
So that's how they've taken out Martian Manhunter. We've
what
also
does
seen
magnesium do for you?
Like in general?
Yeah. Because I know my wife takes some magnesium pills. Like, is that a thing? Do you need magnesium to do something?
Yeah, but I don't remember. I don't know what.
All right, great.
At some point in time, I could have told you what, but yeah, because I know you take pills for.
Yeah, you go ahead. We're going to find out what magnesium does for you.
All right. Other heroes from the Justice League have been attacked as well. where we've seen that Aquaman has been induced with hydrophobia in a way. And this is a time where Aquaman still needed water to survive. And so a modified version of like the Scarecrow fear toxin's been used, and he is now deathly afraid of water. Okay. So he's essentially killing himself because he's afraid of water, but yet he needs water to survive. He's taken out. Remember, Plastic Man was frozen, cracked into a bunch of pieces. Mm-hmm. He's just kind of sitting in a chamber, kind of being
in
slowly.
Chunks?
Well, no, remember Flash put him back together.
Oh, that's right.
Did we get to that before?
I don't think we got to where he put him back together.
Okay.
By the way, magnesium is it supports muscle and nerve function and energy production. So it's just overall good for you, I guess.
I gotcha. Yeah, no, here we did.
Eat your pennies, kids.
We did. See, that's where he's
broken. Yeah. Okay, I got you.
See, they put them back together real quick.
I forgot about the floating Darth Vader bubble.
So Plastic Man's in a floating tube along with Martian
Floating
Manhunter,
tube.
and Aquaman is deathly afraid of water.
Sure.
So that's 3 of the Justice League members that are kind of rendered
useless.
Exactly.
Yeah.
By Ra's al Ghul.
Sure.
And where it ended last episode or the end of issue 1, is he basically went on to phase 2 of his plan with the hit of a giant button. And now all print is kind of turned to gibberish. Like nobody can understand any of the written word.
Was it Mr. Mixelplix? Is he the one that used to...
The magic guy in Superman?
Didn't he do some stuff like that too?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
My knowledge of Mr. Mixelplix is very...
I don't even know if I'm saying that right.
I don't even know either. I feel like I am.
From Super Friends is where I remember Mr. Mixelplix.
Yeah, no, I just remember the little weird, like, big head dude from some of the comics. I don't remember any stories with him in it.
He always reminded me of kind of...
Kazoo?
Right, yeah, from the Flintstones, right? Yeah, that's what he reminded me of.
I don't know if he predated him, but still, yeah.
That was Paul Lynde, wasn't it?
Was it?
Kazoo?
Maybe.
I think so. I think it's like Paul Lynde, one of those guys.
Or one of the, yeah. So nobody can read anything, like nobody can understand anything that's written.
Yeah, it's all weird.
This is kind of where it is a play on you brought up the Bible, but the Tower of Babel story from the Bible of where, explaining how everybody was then.
Everybody spoke the same language.
And then all of a sudden nobody
God
did.
Said none of that. And then he split them all up and threw them to the ends of the earth.
The story just very simply is, I think, that they thought that they were going to build a tower to God. We are going to be as good on the same level, and to punish the kind of like proud.
And the only way they could work, every one of them could work together to build this giant tower, was they all spoke the same language. And so he said, well, screw that. And then we had Spanish. Is that how that worked?
In a way.
Yeah.
But so... that is then a play on that for this storyline. Now we have it where everybody can still understand each other, but nobody can understand anything that's written.
If that is true, let's say the Tower of Babel story is true. Mm-hmm. Is it just a cruel joke that one of them is that thing?
I feel like that's I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, because, and all I'm saying is I'm predicating it on that being an actual event that happened, right?
Yeah.
He goes, all right, y'all can keep your English, Spanish, German. Oh, and you get knock, knock, click, click. I mean, that just seems so terrible. Like, it's a bad thing to do to people, right?
Yeah.
I'm not down in the language at all.
No, I don't.
I'm just saying, if you take it verbatim, well, thanks a lot for the cancer and the knock, knock language, I mean.
So, anyway, also then to end the book.
Religion's very important, though, guys. Keep going to church. It's good.
You're going to upset our one listener, Frank.
Frank, I wasn't talking about your religion. Keep holding that snake over your head. It's fine.
So we end that book, though, after nobody can understand anything that's written anymore, to find out where Wonder Woman and Flash, who is Wally West in this, not Barry Allen.
Right. We did go over that last time.
Yes. Yeah. We're trying to find Kyle Rayner, who is our Green Lantern in this. And they notice that, like, they can't read any of the apartment numbers and stuff like that because everything's changed, but they finally find him. Just realize that Kyle Rayner is blind, which is very important to a Green Lantern. Sure. Because, obviously, they need to see what's in front of them to attack. Green. Well, and also... the whole idea is they can essentially with their ring create anything that they can produce, but they need to be able, like an artist, you need to be able to see what you're drawing. Right. So without being able to see, they don't know exactly what they were going to be able to, produce out there.
So there's a big swell on Reddit for who's it? Hal Jordan? Is that the original Green Lantern? Is that right? Hal Jordan.
Well, I mean, I think Alan Scott's before that, but yeah.
Hal Jordan's generally the one that people talk about.
DC,
those things. They said that there's a push to have John Krasinski play him now.
Okay.
So I don't whatever.
Okay.
I don't know why everybody wants John Krasinski to be a hero, but okay.
He was already Reed Richards.
I know, kind of. We don't know if that's real or not, though.
But, yeah,
who the hell knows?
So let's pick up with the blind Green Lantern in issue 2 of Justice League, the Tower of Babel storyline. And this is where it's going to pick up, and it's going to get very interesting. And this is where I liked I was like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see. Oh, also, Batman's parents, his caskets, the caskets have been, basically stolen from their graves.
Oh, yeah.
Ra's al Ghul has kidnapped Batman's
dead
parents. Yeah. And he's essentially kind of waiting for Batman to show up, which we see is how we open issue 2 of Batman's been hunting down Ra's al Ghul because he knows he's the one who's done it. Mm-hmm. So when he gets there, he discovers that Ra's al Ghul has his parents' caskets lifted above one of his Lazarus pits.
Good Lord.
And if you're not familiar with the Lazarus pit, just to sum it up real quick, Ra's al Ghul has these Lazarus pits that basically him bathing in them have helped make him immortal in a way.
Yeah, he brings the dead back to life is what he's saying.
It can also do that too. So
because of the Lazarus thing.
There you go. Yeah. Very good.
Back to the Bible.
Boom. So we then cut back to the Justice League to see while they're trying to figure out, hey, what happened to Kyle? Did anybody come in here? Like, what happened? Who blinded you? And he's like, no, I just woke up blind.
Yeah.
Like, they can't figure out what's wrong with this.
I mean, your mother did tell you do it too much. You'll go blind. So.
Yeah, Aquaman's trying to figure out while he's still back at the Justice League of how Ra's and the League of Assassins know where they're at to enact all these plans, and he realizes, hey, they've hacked into our comms.
Oh.
So he tells Wonder Woman and Wally, guys, get ready. They're headed your way.
Yeah.
And as he's telling them that, it's a bit too late because there they are. We see there's a lot of nanites in here because you got to use this. We see this little nanite.
Looks like a little tick.
Yeah, spider-looking thing that shot into Wonder Woman's ear.
Oh.
Right? And we just see it kind of make its way in there. Then we cut back to Metropolis, where Superman is trying to save everybody because they can't read all the signs that are going on. A kid almost accidentally got hit by a train. Mm-hmm. Nobody can read, the words on the computer screens.
Kid almost got hit by a train.
Well, I'm sorry.
Because he couldn't read the train sign?
No. Sorry. He almost got shocked by one of the
by one of the rails
on the train.
Yeah, like the third rail.
Sorry,
kind of
thank you. Yeah.
I was like, you can still see a train even if you can't read the words.
You're right. I saw the track and I was like, oh no, that wasn't it.
He's like, I couldn't read it. I don't know. Hey, just real quick, putting that thing in Wonder Woman's ear.
Yeah.
You ever been one of those people that watches those videos on YouTube where they're like pulling stuff out of people?
No, I know. No.
Yeah, see, I hate that stuff. I can't stand that stuff. Yeah. And then now I was scrolling the other day through something and there's an ad for a game where you're the surgeon and you get to pull like the worms out of people's ears and stuff. That does not sound fun to me. I don't want that.
No.
I don't want a dirty ass simulator or whatever it's called. I mean, that's just gross.
Dirty ass simulator?
It's a dirty ass simulator. You have to wipe it. Otherwise, you can get real itchy and then the game's over.
Superman, while he's saving people, is talking to Oracle, who was Batgirl. It was Barbara Gordon. Then she got paralyzed when the Joker shot her. So then she's in a wheelchair. So now she's Oracle. She's the one who gives Batman all his information. Kinda.
Oh, all right. She doesn't have any real powers.
No,
she just is like she's like his IT guy, basically.
Yeah. She just she's IT.
Dispatch.
She's information. She's And plus, I mean,
she's
her dad.
2-on-1.
Plus, her dad's the commissioner, so it probably makes it easier for her to get into.
Yeah, that's true.
I think maybe in some incarnations she actually works for GCPD, so like she's able to.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's cool. Okay,
so
that's a good use of a character like that.
Yeah, Superman is talking to her, trying to figure out like, hey, can you figure out like, do you sense anything weird that's going on?
Yeah.
And
because I mean, Batman has Alfred, right? Who sits there and says stuff into the computer, and so this is for Superman.
No. She works for Batman.
Oh, she works for Batman.
Yeah.
What happened to Alfred?
Alfred got old. She can do better than Alfred.
Oh, okay.
I mean, essentially.
Okay. All right.
Not
Great.
trying to knock Alfred.
Yeah.
Superman notices, though, that there are these kind of radio.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Are we playing footsies?
Yeah. I'm so sorry.
I mean, that's fine.
No, there was something down there, and I tried to hit it, and then I hit your foot instead.
So Superman looks and notices that there's these radio waves that obviously something is causing this to happen. It's not like some sort of weird act. Like, obviously,
we're still working on the backwards languages.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
We're trying to
mixed up letters.
We do notice that some signal is causing this weird commotion.
The jumble.
Yeah. We then get to see, though, that, like, you know, air traffic controllers are having a hard time reading the menus to get planes to land because they can't read anything on them. You know, they get orders in the military, but they're afraid to push any of the buttons because they don't know what button does what.
Yeah.
You know, it shows panic in the hospital of, like, they can't tell which patient is here for what, you know, service and what of that. So some of these patients are dying and they don't know what to go in for. Like, it's all this just panic.
Yeah.
It's going on.
I can't ever think of airplane controllers or whatever you call it without thinking of the movie Airplane. Yeah, it's just my generation, I guess.
No, I get it, but
let's take some pictures, boys, and they just start taking them off the wall and taking them with them.
that is a super solid movie.
It's great.
We then cut to Wonder Woman fighting this big, muscly, green armor looking lady. And they are just going at it toe for toe. I don't know her name. She has it, but toe for toe. And Wonder Woman is just having such a hard time dealing with this. But then we cut back to see that really Wonder Woman is just unconscious on the floor, just kind of withering. All this is going on in her head because of that nanite. As it says here, it locks her in a virtual reality battle with an unbeatable foe using nanite technology. Essentially, what this is doing is the person who has instilled this knows that Wonder Woman will never stop fighting. And since he has locked her in this reality where she is unconscious but in her head, she is fighting an unwinnable foe. Yeah. So they're hoping to force her body into shock, basically forcing itself to have a heart attack.
So it looks like a green RoboCop.
It does, but so Wonder Woman's just going to keep in the state she's in.
She's going to keep fighting.
And overexerting her body and eventually cause herself to have a heart attack.
So they put her in the bad matrix.
Yes, that's how we're going to, eliminate Wonder Woman.
Right.
We also then see...
He is really good at picking these people off, like one at a time.
Yeah, exactly. Then we see that Flash hurries to try to help them, and while he's waking up from the concussion weapon that was sent off when the kind of came in, another bullet is shot towards Flash, and it hits him kind of in the neck. And all of a sudden, he falls down and starts convulsing repeatedly.
Now, what had happened to Flash? Why was he able to be hit by this bullet?
Because, so there was, I believe, a concussion blast. Like, he kind of knocked him up. And as he's like
an
waking,
EMP kind of thing.
And as he's waking up from it, like almost coming to.
Got it.
Before he can. Hits him in the neck.
All right, sorry, I missed that part.
Yeah, and the bullet, it just lodges itself kind of in his nervous system. And what it does, it essentially paralyzes his nervous system with counter vibration strikes, is the way that DC puts it. But I think it says that he has epileptic seizures at light speed.
Wow. Yeah.
And he's just stuck in that.
Yeah, that's frightening.
So now Wonder Woman's eliminated, and Flash
only one
is eliminated.
left is Superman?
Superman and Batman. Batman's there with Roz, but yes, I believe it's just Superman now.
Wow.
So Superman tells Oracle that he had kept a force-filled kind of, I guess, device that he had taken from one of his battles with Brainiac, and thinks that it could come in really useful now. They try it out, and I think that they're able to create a... Oh, I'm skipping ahead, but I just want to make sure. They kind of use it to create a force field over Metropolis. And they're able to disrupt the sound waves or the radio waves that are causing this and realize, all right, yes, something is causing this we're able to we got to find a way to affect the waves.
Right.
So with the Flash taken out and Wonder Woman taken out, a blind Green Lantern attempts to fight off the people that he hears are there. But as he can't see what's in front of him, like his creations aren't necessarily like turn out what they want him to be like. He's not fighting, hitting anywhere near the people, like because he can't see. We then see that Batman and Roz are having this discussion, and Roz basically tells him like, "Hey, if you want, your dream of seeing your mom and dad again, I can make come true." Dropping him in the Lazarus pit here. Like, and Batman for a minute though, obviously is just like, until he kind of snaps through. It's like, no, that'd be horrible. They wouldn't be
ghoulish.
themselves. Like, I'm not going to do that. And he kind of snaps himself out of what, Roz is talking to him. And he goes to kind of punch Roz again. And Roz pulls out this giant red rock. And Batman just says, "Oh my God," when he pulls it out. It looks like a form of red kryptonite we see. Right. And we notice that Batman is deathly afraid that something bad has happened when he sees that. We cut back now to...
I would think anybody, like if you're talking to somebody and they pull out a giant, like glowing red rock, anybody would go, "Oh shit, what's fixing to happen?"
No, for sure. Yeah. For sure. So then we cut back to where Wonder Woman and the Flash are. Martian Manhunter has equipped himself with this airtight suit that essentially traps him in water, so he can go and at least fight in a way to kind of help. Okay. Because with the magnesium, when his skin it comes in contact with air, turns into fire. Boom. This way, boom, we're around it. But he's still able to kind of help. But when they show up, Superman has shown, like, John is kind of getting weak trying to fight off the League of Assassins, but Superman's there to finally help. When he gets close enough, though, Talia, remember Roz's daughter, pulls out the red kryptonite, and Superman just kind of falls.
So it is red kryptonite?
It is red kryptonite. Okay. Just kind of falls to the ground. And it says, the man that this Talia, as she... is talking and taunting Superman while she's holding the red kryptonite, says, "The man that this belongs to performed a series of experiments on it. He managed to accelerate its radioactive half-life as indicated by its color shift from the green to red. His idea was to make it less lethal, but still crippling to the Krypton physiology. To discover what sort of unpredictable changes it might wreak in your cellular structure, according to his notes, it may not kill you, but you'll wish you were dead."
Wow. So, is this the first of seeing red kryptonite?
I don't know for sure if it is. Yeah. Maybe in this...
I mean, the way they talk about it sounds like
it. But. So Superman is completely incapacitated, and what we find out is that you look at Superman's skin...
He's like melting almost, getting old.
Well... What it's done, we'll come to find out, is it's made his skin kind of transparent. So Superman gains his power from our sun, right? That's how he becomes strong. So what the red kryptonite has done, what the red kryptonite has done has made his skin transparent. So he's becoming overloaded now. Sure. Like, and it's just too much. And when you have a battery, it just can't hold extra power. Yeah. Eventually, it's going to...
Does he start to swell?
Well, but he starts losing in the control of his power. His heat vision will just go off. And
I thought it'd be like a laptop battery. He'd just swell and then blow up.
But I'm going to leave us on this cliffhanger because issue 2 ends with the biggest cliffhanger of all this before we go to commercial break here. And when Roz had pulled out, we had talked about, obviously, the reaction to the red kryptonite. Right.
Oh, my God.
But it seemed like Batman had figured out something else. And then Batman is running, trying to tell Superman, like, "Hey, get out of there, get out of there." But it's too late, as we've seen. And he goes, Batman says, "That's why Roz wanted me distracted. He couldn't risk me warning you. All the plans, the traps, the signal trackers, they were mine. Superman, I did this to you." And that is where we end issue 2 of JLA. And that is a perfect place to take a break. And we'll be right back after
Red
this.
Kryptonite.
And we're back.
Hello. We're
Hey,
back.
we're
Hello.
back.
Hello.
So,
hello.
what we find out at the end of issue 2 in this story arc is that all the plans, all the things that have happened to the Justice League members, these are all Batman's plans. These are not Ra's al Ghul's plans. He has just stolen them from Batman and just put them all into action.
Wow.
So,
like, Batman just had these plans laying around where he's like, if I ever really want to screw him over, I could do this and this and this.
well, he explains it a bit.
Yikes.
And we'll get to that. But the whole Justice League is basically suffering because of Batman right now.
Mm-hmm.
He goes to escape.
He's a complicated mofo, isn't he?
Batman, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They have him at the edge of a cliff, and he essentially jumps off, and the League of Assassins think that he's dead.
Mm-hmm.
But in typical Batman form, no, he's just hanging by a cliff. Plastic Man is up and out of the tube. So he's able to kind of move around and help.
He still looks a little rough, though.
He does. Martian Manhunter has been able to put Aquaman in kind of a mental trance to where he thinks he's in a desert.
Okay.
Just completely everything aware, very away from water.
Yeah.
And he's just asleep thinking of that while they actually have him suspended in water to keep him alive.
Gotcha.
Trying to figure out either a way to reverse what's doing. Yeah.
Sure.
But that way he can still survive. And his fear, he's not taken over by that because in his mind, he's just in this desert oasis kind of thing. Plastic Man is able to shrink down tiny enough to go into Wonder Woman's ear and remove the nanite off of her ear.
Yeah. Off or out?
He goes in. Like it's off of her brain. I don't know.
Grody.
Yeah. We see, as I said, like Superman just is being so overloaded with power that he's just constantly heat vision everywhere. Things are in flames. Like he's trying his hardest, and it's so painful for him to try to hold it all back, but he just can't. But they realize that the only person who can help Flash is him. So Superman has to summon up enough strength to be able to hold steady enough to pinpointly use his, laser X-ray vision to destroy whatever the little thing is on Flash's nervous center that's causing these epileptic seizures.
From the bullet.
So once he's done, he goes, "Oh my goodness, you couldn't imagine the pain. There were whole days I prayed just to die," is what he says coming out of that. Whole days.
Yikes.
And he goes, "John, just how long was I out?" And John says, 20 minutes.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. So Wally's been through a lot. Superman, obviously, they still don't have any way to help him.
Yeah.
They're trying to figure out what to do. Martian Manhunter realizes that Kyle, probably what happened, you're not blind. It's just that somebody convinced you were. With the I'm trying to remember.
That's Ra's al
with the
Ghul's thing, right? I mean, he can kind of Svengali people.
I don't know, but where it is. Oh, it says, they diminished his willpower by inducing blindness via posthonic suggestion. Essentially, while he was asleep, they just whispered to him like, "Hey, you're blind. You're blind,"
Yeah.
So if he believed it when he put the ring on, then he believed he was blind.
Got it.
So they're able to tell him, talk him out of it like, "Hey, no, you're not." So everybody is slowly
Why are
able
the panels
to-
sideways on that one?
I'm trying to remember. Oh, it's just showing
Oh, it's just
how
a long
everything's
panels.
it's
Yeah.
all a bunch of
Gotcha.
long shots, and it's just showing kind of how the world's continuing into chaos because of all this.
Right.
We go back and we see that Talia's back to her dad, and he was like, "Hey, you weren't supposed to kill Bruce, or attack him. Like, where does this end? Like, what's your whole plan here?"
Yeah, no kidding.
And another guard shows up and says, like, "Hey, Batman's dead." Talia doesn't take that well. She slaps the one of the guards who tells her, just frustrated, obviously, because she loves Bruce and she thinks he's dead now because of her father.
Sure.
The guard walks away to reveal himself to be Batman because he's Batman.
Oh, man.
He was just hiding, master of disguise.
I'm Batman.
I mean, he obviously wasn't invented at this point. Do you think, with the timetable, though, do you think there's a chance Damien is already exist, or you think she's pregnant with him? Or you think I'm just being a jerk?
No. Hold on. Let's think about this real quick. We're going to get super nerdy. When did Morrison start? It's like 07?
I am double checking right now.
Okay. I could be completely off. It could be late. No. It could be 09. I don't know. I'm going to be completely off on dates. So I'm going to let.
I'm Googling his first appearance.
Okay.
Damien Wayne first appearance as infant. Wait, what? No way, that's right. Unless I'm way off. Apparently, he first appeared as in Batman: Son of the Demon in 1987, which no.
Oh.
Batman, Son of the Demon.
I thought it was just implied that Batman could have a son.
No, that's probably what that is. That's probably just Wikipedia. It's Wikipedia.
Yeah.
First appeared in Batman 655 in November of 2006. That's when he first appeared. Like when Damien's like, "That's my father." So let me double check what that says. That says 2006.
Okay, so he's got to be like, but like what? At least like
he's young when that first started.
He's a million.
Like
8?
10.
10?
I would say 10.
So no, it would have to be 4 years before this then. Like I guess like year wise. I mean maybe.
So maybe
you can make it work.
Maybe he's kicking around. Maybe
maybe he's just somewhere hanging out there with Talia and Roz. He's probably just hanging out with some of the animals there.
Talia and Roz.
Sounds
Sorry,
like a sitcom you watch.
Sorry to throw in that tangent.
No, you're fine. So Batman is still alive. The Justice League starts to have a very serious decision of like, checking in on everybody. And then, here we go. He's always been so cold, but still he deliberately concocted. They're discussing like Batman, like how could he have done that? Ways to hurt us. Like, why would he do this kind of thing?
Yeah, right.
And they're questioning, like, it doesn't make any sense. Martian Manhunter admits, which is in a very brave move of Martian Manhunter. He's just like, hey, I have to admit that I once, maintained my own dossiers on all of you guys. Being from a different planet, like I didn't know who to trust. He was like, it wasn't schemes or plans, just information. But once I knew that like you guys were cool, like I stopped,
that makes
obviously.
sense for him.
Yeah.
For Batman, not so much.
So, and it makes sense for obviously all of the other members in the Justice League to kind of question then why.
Mm-hmm.
Then all of a sudden there's a incoming
I hate this
message.
picture of Superman on the front.
He kind of looks, yeah. Batman phones into the Justice League and goes, Batman to JLA. I've uncovered Roz's transmission source tracking via Batplane. Will issue coordinates when I arrive, over and out. And then they're all like, all right, sounds like a party invite to me. All right, we'll go ahead. And they're all like heading out to go do this. And as they're heading out, all of a sudden you see an off like panel speech bubble that says, unless it's another trap. And it's Superman just kind of leaning up against the glass, like obviously still in pain.
Right.
And they all kind of like just question it a bit. And then all of a sudden, Superman flies out in front of all of them. And there is a really cool panel that I do like. We've had Batman versus Superman in some ways here. Some of it cool, some of it not so much in recent weeks.
Yeah, sure.
This is just, they don't battle, but it is a very cool kind of opposing thing. We see the bat plane in the horizon and a speck, and as it gets closer, it's just Superman kind of sitting there eyeing the bat plane down.
I love when Superman just like idles in the air.
And he's just floating, just staring him down like a disapproving dad.
Yeah.
So he's like, all right, Bruce, we're talking about this. And that's exactly, he flies up and then just shoots right by him. Like Batman kind of just plays chicken, just shoots right by.
Yeah.
So Superman flies by, and Bruce replies, if you wanted my attention, you got it. And he goes, you should be able to hear me, Superman. I've basically taken out all of Roz's nullifiers around here.
Right.
And Superman just kind of stares him down because Batman tells him, he just starts talking plan. This is what we're going to do. This is, So when they get there, they're able to use Martian Manhunter's telepathy to be able to tap into each other's minds, because that way they can understand each other's speech, because speech starts to become babbled eventually too.
Yeah.
So they're able to still communicate
babbled.
Nice.
It's
right?
great. Yeah, I love that.
So they're there in Antarctica to try to take everything out. And when he arrives, like Batman gets out of the bat plane and every member of the Justice League is just kind of staring him down like, you know, hey, you're the reason who did all of this to us. And he's like, guys, like he says all their names, just kind of question like Batman does, looking around the circle, you know, hey, Lantern, Wonder Woman. Then all of a sudden they just kind of go out and go on their way to kind of take care of this transmitter that's down there in Antarctica to help take out the waves that are causing all this commotion. So they destroy everything. Superman via himself kind of basically just exerts his wrath and causes this whole thing to explode after they get everybody out of the building. And he walks away. And then as soon as it's done, he looks at Batman and just straight up says, tell me why. And Batman says, I have my reasons, but I'm no happier than you that Ra's decrypted my computer files. And Superman says, our sympathies are marginal. How much does Ra's know about me, about all of us? And what will he do? He did, you know, and basically Superman collapses again because he's still kind of weak. They then realize they start to hear another voice in their heads that's not them. It's Talia, who's been able to kind of decipher in and tell them a message saying that, you know, despite that you guys were able to take care of this tower, it was kind of just a decoy because my dad has these this virus that he's just going to drop and release to kind of kill off humanity then. So they've, you know, destroyed it, or they've stolen this virus. They're going to go and release it. You guys need to go kind of save them before they cause some kind of bio, you know, terrorist attack.
Yeah. Bio hazard terrorist.
While they're talking this through, a member of the League of Assassins shoots Talia in the leg to get her to stop. And he's like, well, I'm going to go ahead and tell Ra's that you guys know, like, you know, good luck. And that's kind of where it ends. So let's go ahead and put a bow on this storyline with issue 4.
Yeah.
And essentially what we have is now they know that obviously they need to go ahead and take care of all these bioweapons. Plastic Man attacks Batman and he tells him like, hey, we don't have time for this. We have to go take care of what's
Get
going
off
on.
my shoulder, Nat.
We have to go take care of the bio weapon threat.
I don't like Plastic Man as a serious character.
Well, I mean,
because like that last page where he opens his mouth real big, I don't like that.
He's not. I mean, that's not him being. It's him being comically serious. Though.
Yeah, I don't like that in this story.
Okay.
Here's my problem. Right, the only thing I ever really knew about Plastic Man was that cartoon that used to come on.
Yeah.
About the time as Jabberwocky. You know that. So that gives you an era.
Jabberjaw?
Jabberjaw, that's what I meant, not Jabberwocky.
The Jabberwockies are the guys that dance. Yeah.
Well, there's that, and then there's the Terry Palin movie, Jabberwocky.
Oh, yeah.
And then I think it's an old story also, right?
Maybe.
Isn't it like an old English story, Mason? Jabberwocky? Isn't that a real thing? Like it's a Shakespearean kind of thing?
All right.
Instead of turning on the microphone, he just shrugs.
Well, no, I appreciate that though, more instead of like, yeah.
All right. I don't know where
it's the same response I had. Like, yeah.
Hey, but what I'm saying is the guy is, he in my mind, he's just this joke, you know, he's like having Bazooka Joe help him out or something.
Well, I mean, everybody has to have comic relief.
I guess.
While they're taking care of, I'm just going to TLDR because some of this doesn't matter. Yeah. Essentially, Batman finally tells Superman why he did it. There was a storyline.
He loves him.
I did it because I loved you. There was a storyline, and it makes sense comic-wise.
Yeah.
There's a storyline back in it was DC's Silver Age that they did that Mark Waid wrote as well, and there was a story in there where Agamemnon was like this intergalactic being who created his own like Injustice League, and what he was able to kind of like possess like through things the Justice League members' bodies and have them do things to control.
Bad things.
Yeah.
Got it.
And so Batman saw it like, we lost control.
Oh,
There
so that
was
does make
nobody.
sense.
He was like, there was no like, what happens?
What do you do to neutralize Superman if he goes bad?
Exactly.
Yeah.
He was like, we all needed to have like countermeasures.
Yeah,
like
that
that's
makes
his
sense.
point.
And Batman should be the guy who has those dossiers.
Exactly.
Like that.
And so it makes sense in a way.
Because
And
he's tactical, he's always prepared, all that stuff. Yeah.
yeah, and Superman says, you know, like that's your excuse, and Batman says, I decided that there ought to be fail safes designed in the event something similar ever happened again.
I don't blame you, Batman.
And he's like, you decided, and then Batman says that mountain, I'm sorry. Never mind. I thought they were continuing the story part. We then go into their actually they get to where the mission.
It's always funny to me though that Superman and Logic are not partners. Like Superman,
it always depends on the writer.
Yeah, Superman a lot of the time, like if you've got him paired up with Batman, Batman's always like the logical one. You know, Superman's always like I'm just gonna bust things and save this poodle or
See,
what. You know.
Okay, I have thoughts on things, and I feel like Mason is a big enough comic book fan to. Yeah. I would think he would agree with me on this part, so I'm gonna run it by him. And Mike, in your knowledge too, I feel like when there's pair ups, and you'll see it especially in like team books. The X-Men is a great example, but also like when people write like a pairing between Batman and Superman, you can tell who a writer likes with the treatment of other characters throughout it. Usually Wolverine fans always treat Cyclops like crap when they do their X-Men runs.
Gotcha.
Or similar to Batman fans will make Superman kind of look like a fool.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. If you have a guy who's like all very Superman, they'll make Batman seem more childish in a sense. Like there's things like that. Would you?
Oh yeah, I agree. I mean, perfect example. You guys just did Dark Knight Returns, and Frank Miller loved Batman. He hated Superman. At least at that point, and in that story. And even in his year one story, Frank Miller did a Superman year one. It was okay, but it's nothing like amazing. It's not the Dark Knight Returns.
Frank Miller, and that was the thing. I think that's what he wanted to do at DC. So Frank Miller was always a Batman guy. Yeah, like I think you have artists like that. So,
or like when you read
the Bible.
Who's your favorite?
Who's your favorite Bible character?
When you read Civil War, you know who Mark. You can clearly tell who Mark Millar likes, and which he does not.
Yeah.
Or in crap. I don't want to be too much dead air. I'm gonna talk while I think. Someone talk while I think.
Who's your favorite Bible character? Zach? If you had to pick one,
Judas.
I know it's tough. Oh, really? Judas.
Whoa.
Dark pick.
I felt like he should have came out and said, I have something bold yet controsial. Just kind of intro that in. But solid pick.
That is a joke.
What about you?
I don't know how to read.
I don't know how to read. What about you? Who's your favorite Bible character?
Dude in a red robe and a goat mask read me the Bible, and he said Judas was the best character, so I just went with it.
All right. Yeah. Solid reasoning. Can't argue with that.
Mine's Zacchaeus. Love that Zacchaeus.
Because he was a wee
He was a
little
wee little man. The wee little man was he.
See, I'll tell you this.
Climbed up in a sycamore tree.
As a kid, like I was like, oh yeah, that's kind of cool because it's a song that kind of has my name in it.
Yeah.
But I was like, but it's about a short dude. So like,
I didn't even think about the fact that it's Zach and Zacchaeus. Yeah, I didn't even. I'm sorry.
Zach, another good example is when you read an X-Men comic that the Avengers show up in. The Avengers usually look like dicks.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Or when you read, or even in Avengers books, the X-Men just don't show up. But when the Avengers show up in X-Men books, especially in the last 10 years, all they do is just. You guys really don't do enough. You kind of suck.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's all they do.
You can just
so it's according to the writer.
Yeah, not to say I'm not saying that Mark Waid is necessarily doing that, but you can kind of tell sometimes. Yeah. But so they go in, they are able to stop the bioweapons problem. Superman shows up with Batman back at Roz's place and notices like, what? He has your parents, and Superman then also kind of realizes like, oh, okay, he got you too. Like, it's kind of a moment of where he's like, oh,
he's got your parents over this Lazarus pit in this studio apartment.
Because in a way, but also I feel like in a way it's him kind of noticing like, you even had a file on you.
Yeah. I mean, everybody can get got.
So they show up and Superman's going to go and save the coffins from above there, but there's a piece of red kryptonite in between there, and so Superman can't get too close to it because obviously he's still recovering from the last time he had a bout with red kryptonite. He's able to come through though. Oh, Martian Manhunter. I can't remember. Oh, I think they're able to fix Aquaman, Martian Manhunter, and they're able to come in and kind of save the day. So they get the coffins back. They stop the bio weapons from going off. Everything is all great. The day is saved. Ra's al Ghul is taken care of.
Okay.
The big problem that's left, obviously, though, by the rest of the Justice League there is, well, what are we going to do with Batman?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So they have him wait in the other room. I kid you not. Like, Superman kind of tells him, he's like, it wasn't our cleanest victory. Ra's escaped, but we've crippled his resources for now. Sorry, he escaped. They didn't get him done.
Yeah.
And then they look at Batman. They're like, for now, he's our problem. He goes, I've asked him to wait in the meeting room while we decide what we'll do. You've heard his reasoning of, we're the most powerful beings on the planet, but even we're not above being manipulated.
Sure.
People we help, do they worry about that? Should they worry about that? Some very valid points from Superman.
Yeah, absolutely.
He goes, we're lucky we have the world's trust, but it's not fair to expect it, and take it for granted.
It's fair.
Aquaman says it's not luck. Not to sound arrogant, but we've earned that trust. It's not from everyone, then certainly, or if not from everyone, then certainly from each other. Flash, like he kind of asked Flash to back him up. And Flash tells him, he's like, Batman brought up, the Agamemnon case, but I was just a kid back then when it happened. So like, I wasn't around.
Yeah, he doesn't know.
Yeah, exactly. He goes, but like, I kind of understand, remember people being afraid of you guys for a bit when they thought that, you had done evil things.
Yeah.
That kind of brings up like,
Because you were injustice.
Yeah. He goes, so if you're asking me, should we vote him out? Then I don't like him very much right now, but to expel him, he goes, I don't think that that's right then. He's like, I could be mad, but I think he was in the right mind to do.
I think he's right. Batman deserves to.
So it comes through, it goes to Martian Manhunter then, who says, we're talking about strategy. We're not talking about strategy. We're talking about teamwork. We're talking about someone who claims to be one of us, but yet he's secretly kind of cataloging our weaknesses and doing all of this. So they're arguing back and forth.
I think they should have been doing this,
Huh?
Like they should have maintained files on themselves.
In a way.
Honestly,
but
yeah.
None of them did. It all eventually goes around and it comes down to a vote because they're arguing back and forth with each member sticking up for certain people. And it comes out to where I'm trying to see where we start the voting so I can make sure we tally it correctly. So here's it time to vote. I'm sorry. This is great. Okay, here we go. So I'm just going to read through and we'll just get to it.
Okay.
Martian Manhunter says, in no way do I approve of Batman actions, but I would be a hypocrite to view them as a case for expulsion.
Sure.
So I say he stays.
Okay. It's one.
That's one. They counted Wally is voting for expulsion being too much, is voting for him staying.
So there's 6 of them, right?
7.
I mean, 7 if you include Batman.
No.
Right.
Plastic Man.
Oh, Plastic Man. Forgot about him. He's not on the cover. I was counting the ones on the cover.
So Plastic Man, Green Lantern,
So that's
Wally
7.
West.
Okay, so they've got a
Martian
tiebreaker.
Manhunter, Wonder Woman, Green Arrow, Aquaman, sorry.
The problem with Superman. A vote like this, though, is if you vote against it and you're the minority, oof.
So,
what's life like going forward?
Essentially how voting breaks down is so Aquaman's a no. Okay. Then Wally's like, I don't think we can expel him for this. So that's a vote to stay. It's 1-1.
Okay.
Yeah, Martian Manhunter essentially says the same. Like, I did it too. So I can't vote that way. So it's 2-1 for him to stay. They get to Kyle asking Green Lantern, and he's essentially like, hey, he brought me on the team. Like, he believed in me kind of. I can't vote for him or against him for that.
3-1.
Oh, no, wait. I'm sorry. No, he... Hell, for months I've been friendly to a guy who's been looking at me. Never mind. I'm incorrect. He doesn't like him on the team.
Oh.
He votes against.
So it's 2-2.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's broken down to, and then I'm getting my votes off here. It's hard to read through all this. Anyway, it's split 3-3.
Okay.
3-4, 3 against. I have it now. Plastic Man, Wonder Woman, Aquaman are all against.
Okay.
They want him expelled. Green Lantern, Flash, Martian Manhunter vote for him to stay in. It comes down to Superman for the final vote.
Okay.
And so we close the issue with them basically saying, like, guess that makes you the swing vote, Superman. And he says that you're the closest thing he has to a friend on the team. How well do you really know him? Or I guess more to that point, how well does he know you? And you see that Superman kind of opens the door to walk in, like he's already made up the decision in his mind, and he's walking in to see him, and he just says, well enough to know better than any of us how you'll vote, ? And they open to see that, all right, and Superman just replies yes to that question to open to see. Batman is no longer there as they realize that Superman would have voted to expel him, and Batman has been voted out of the Justice League.
Batman just said, screw y'all, and left. That's the way Batman should be.
He knew how it was going to go, so he said, I'm not staying around for this, and that is how Tower of Babel ends.
Well, again, I think they voted against something that was needed.
Yeah.
I think they just took it personally is all it was.
Yeah, essentially.
And plus, who the hell is counting Green Lantern and Plastic Man's votes?
Well, I mean,
Get out of here.
then it's still 2-2.
Okay, you need
when
to
it
stop
comes
with
down
the
to-
Green Lantern.
I don't like him. I don't like him.
I don't like you.
Okay.
Is it
That's
all
fair.
We've been all, but see, is it all Green Lantern? Like, do you think I could find?
I just don't like the character.
Like, you don't like Jon Stewart either?
No. I just don't like Green Lantern.
What about
not a big-
Could I get you like Parallax? Maybe
I don't know what the hell a parallax
It's
is.
an evil
it's
yellow
an evil
demon.
Green Lantern. Oh well, no. The Parallax one that I'm talking about is how they introduced Kyle Rayner in the '90s. Was it Emerald City? Oh, I gotta
Emerald
go back
Knight?
and read this. Well, there was a city that Hal Jordan couldn't save. Like it ended up like exploding, and he's just driven mad by not being able to save this.
It was Coast City.
Coast City.
Yeah.
So he just kind of goes on this rampage of just killing like other Green Lanterns and like taking their rings
Emerald
and just
Twilight.
becoming there you go. And just becoming mad with power to like he renames himself Parallax. And he's all about just like he's a world devourer.
You know what's
Kind of
craziest
bad.
about
No, I'm
you know what's
good.
the craziest thing to me about that story is Coast City is destroyed by not only by two Superman villains of all things in
Yeah.
the middle of a Superman event.
Yeah.
It was in the middle of the Return of Superman.
Yep.
Cyborg Superman and Mongol destroy Coast City, and then he didn't even get his home city didn't get destroyed in his own book. It was in
Did you
another
say
book.
Cyber Superman?
Yeah.
Cyborg Superman.
Cyborg
Cyborg Superman.
Speaking of that, real quick, while you're here, Mason,
There were a
did you
bunch
see
of Supermans
There
at
were-
a while.
there
there
were-
for a while,
so
right?
it was-
After
there
he
was
died.
Current Superman.
There
There's
was
like 10 now.
Cyborg. Well, the four that I remember, there was Steel. There's Cyborg,
Eradicator.
Superman. Yeah, and
He's
Superboy.
what?
Superboy.
What'd you say?
Yeah, the Eradicator.
Didn't he have a
Should it
different
not
name though
be
too?
the Bat
Wait, I was trying-
Radicator? Oh no, we're talking Superman. Never
Yeah,
mind.
Superman.
I thought I had
The
it.
Bat Radicator.
I'm
Nice.
sorry, I was just trying to work
Did you
the word
see
bat
though
into it.
that there's a new Steelworks title that DC?
Yeah, I was gonna talk to you about this off mic about the new Steelbook coming out, which is exciting. A bunch of
I saw Tom King's gonna do Wonder Woman too.
which I'm I'm excited and I'm nervous because when he does, we might take this out, Mike.
What's he
'cause
done
it's-
before?
He's done a lot of good stuff, but he works best when it's limited series. His last ongoing was good, but if you didn't like his type of writing, you're not gonna like the whole series.
Are you talking about his Batman
His
run?
Batman,
or?
yeah.
Yeah. See, I liked his Batman run, but I
I
get
did
how some people didn't, and I get how like
Mm-hmm.
it's not for everybody.
Yeah, like I think he works best when he's doing 12, 8, 10 issue stuff.
But his Mr. Miracle series,
12 issues.
ooh,
amazing.
it's really good.
You
Very
should,
good.
Rorschach is fantastic.
Is that
I love
really-
Rorschach. I might give you those 12 issues, and then Supergirl, which is very popular, coming out. That's also
Well,
amazing.
they're using him like they're using his stuff for the
His
Super
book
Bowl
for the
DC
movie. It's
stuff.
literally
yeah.
Oh,
an
are they really?
adaptation of the of that book. So that's
Yeah, of the
exciting.
Tom
wow.
King stuff. So
And
Tom
then,
King's a big writer for
and
DC
then
right now.
Hawk Woman. She's
She's
getting a new book.
Yep.
And but back to Justice League. You should read. Anybody listening, you should read the stuff going on with Superman. A new Superman #1 just came out. That was really good.
I do have that. I haven't read it
Action
yet.
Comics has been really fun. It's 3 different stories each issue. So starting with 1051. So only 2 issues in.
Is it the new Super Family?
Yeah, new Super Family. One's a Super Family story. One's in.
Super
One's
Family. Come on.
when John and Superman was a kid. When John was still a kid and finding himself, and another one's a Power Girl story, and it's gonna alternate. So it's fun.
I like the Action Comics format of multiple stories and
any kind of
if you're gonna do
anthology
anything with
series is
action,
nice.
because I mean, the hard part for me with action and the main Superman is, or like with Detective and Batman, I don't know which one actually matters because they're both telling very different stories.
Yeah, no, that's the hard thing too, is trying to figure out with. My problem is, and I know that this is just going to be a angry ramble for a second.
Good.
It's just with so many different titles, like it's hard to figure out like what's supposed to be in canon and and whatnot.
Yeah, because
so
you would assume that it's Batman and maybe action, but when stuff's happening in action that is not happening in Batman, which matters? Which at least the new format is. Maybe they're in continuity, or maybe there's just a whole separate thing. I don't know.
The thing that I wish that people did at least, though, is like what Grant Morrison did with Batman's the Black Casebook, where they collected like all the things, like all the issues then from the past that he used to like call from. So you could go back and read like, oh, okay, this is where it was. He used this story from back in the 60s for this part, and he used... that was kind of cool.
But they'll only do that for Grant, though.
Oh, I know for sure. But if anything, even if they would just release, like if, one of the writers could be like, hey, so like in my Batman world, like we're doing right now, I think if you read this, you'll know how my Batman is. And,
Apologies to listeners. This became very insider baseball.
It did, but I don't mind.
It was fun.
It was. All right. Mike tuned out though.
I'm good, man. Yeah, you guys really went deep, so that's great.
Did. There you go. We got super nerdy at the end. So there you go, Tower of Babel. I thought it was a very interesting story. If anything, I always like seeing stories of where Batman's the smartest man in the room. But in this sense, it makes sense why. Yeah. Even if half the Justice League, over half the Justice League, don't think so.
He seems like the smartest and the most logical guy in the room.
I guess. Sometimes doing the right thing isn't the most popular thing, though.
That's true.
I guess that's today's lesson. As always, thanks for, I feel like Mary Mr. Rogers at the end here. As always, guys, thanks for taking the time out to listen. Feel free to follow us on Instagram, BroFoHero. Email us brosfoesandheroes@gmail.com. Also, make sure you check out RogueMediaNetwork.com.
Yeah.
And all the, I'm sorry.
Rogue Media Network.
I was waiting for the, thank you. The other great podcasts there.
It's been a hell of a week.
I got it. We'll keep it short then. Yeah, so until next time, stay safe, everybody.
Got a gun.
Bros and foes and heroes. Gonna tell you about bros and foes and heroes. Gonna tell you about.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.